I am possible. And I'm back here today to answer some more fans' questions. But first and foremost, always, I must share my mission. The mission is to raise $1 million for the veterans who sacrifice and give up their lives for our freedoms. And I just want to repay them back by assembling an elite army of poker players to amass $1 million. If you're interested in that mission, go check it out on our website at Poker for Vets. You can spell that any way you want. We own them all. And without further ado, let's go to the questions from the fans. So the first question is, at what age did you start playing poker? I think I was in my 20s when I started playing poker. Second question, related to the first question, is what got you started in poker? Well, when I was in my 20s, my father drugged me to a house game. I didn't really want to go. I knew he was going to gamble, and I wasn't big into that thing. I was more into computers at the time, so I really didn't know anything about poker, and I didn't want to waste my night. So I was pretty upset about having to go along. But before the end of the night, I knew it was love. I saw the game. I understood that the game was a much higher level game than even chess. And there was infinite more combinations, and there was a lot to be learned. And the game is so easy to learn that it makes people think they can master it pretty quickly. So yeah, I was hooked. My father, that was one of the greatest things my father ever did for me. Thanks, Dad. Question number 3. When did you start your dream? Well, I guess by my dream, what you're saying is, when did I start this quest to help the veterans? And I think it all starts about a year ago. I started the quest to become a professional poker player. And what I mean by professional poker player is I wanted the title of professional poker player. I've been playing poker for 20 years, so I was pretty good at it and did fairly well. However, I really wanted that. I really wanted to, be on TV and all that fame and fortune stuff. And ultimately, what my little boy was trying to keep me from seeing was, and that's the little boy psychologically, who's trying to sabotage me, is that I'm actually really good at figuring these things out in poker and then applying them to life. And there's a lot of lessons there that I didn't realize existed until I started playing poker. So as far as the dream is concerned, the dream was to become a professional poker player, and it very, very quickly morphed into, okay, I'm going to play online tournaments. And then online tournaments, I realized, were not the same thing as live tournaments. I've been a live tournament for a live player for 20 years. I played in Atlantic City. I played in Delaware Park. I've played all over the country. In fact, there's not a casino I can go into that they don't recognize me from somewhere. So I tend to stick out like a sore thumb. Go figure. But so I decided that, these tournaments, and I was playing like WSOP Online in Pennsylvania and all over, trying to figure out how I was going to play. I knew that, right away, I knew I was going to give, everything I had to poker to become a professional poker player. However, it was like maybe 4 months in that I decided, all right, we're not going to do online anymore. It's just not working out for me. It's not my cup of tea. I really like to meet people. I'm more of a field player. So those reads definitely were important to me. So I decided that I was going to start playing poker tournaments seriously. And that was about 8 months ago. And wow, what a difference, right? So from that 8 months, I've accomplished a lot of my goals. I placed very high in a lot of tournaments. And I trained consistently for 8 months, and I couldn't be happier, actually. So it's been about a year, but it's only really been 8 months since I've been focused on tournaments. And when I focused on tournaments, there was a moment where I was out celebrating one of my tournaments, and I went to a Texas Roadhouse, and this is on the previous questions. And I saw some veterans, and I really just felt compelled, to give back to them what they had given to me, my freedom, we live in the greatest country in the world where people will go and sacrifice their lives and, take care of my freedoms, hold them up. So I decided to pay for their dinner, but that wasn't enough. And then the very next day I was like, okay, I'm going to play poker for veterans and I'm going to give them half or more of my winnings, period. And that day, I will never forget, was, just amazing. And it's been amazing ever since. And I am just so happy to have now put over, $13,000, $14,000 towards the veterans, towards that goal of making $1 million. And I'm going to continue to put money towards them. So in short, about a year ago, but 8 months ago was pivotal. So thanks for the question, guys. I appreciate them. And hopefully we can expound upon the other ones sometimes. I mean, there's still a lot out there. Keep sending your questions. And remember, whenever you're in doubt, I am possible. And I will see you at the tables.